Obviously, Big Mouth is full of loud, raunchy, in-your-face humor, but I think I like their subtle background jokes even more. Big Mouth has so many Easter eggs, pop culture references, and blink and you'll miss it moments that it's almost impossible to catch all of them. But I think I wrangled most of them, like the Hormone Monster trying to shove the dicks back into his briefcase. From here on out, there's gonna be spoilers, so if you haven't seen season 2 yet, for the love of nude musical numbers at a Korean spa, go watch one of our Big Mouth videos from season 1. I'm Whitney Van Laningham, and these are all the Easter eggs in Big Mouth season 2. Episode 1. As we've all learned from watching John Mulaney's stand-up specials, he is a huge true crime junkie. So I knew he wouldn't leave us hanging with that ponytail killer plot from season 1. He actually calls attention to it in the second school marquee we see, which reads, "Did we ever catch the ponytail killer?" Apparently not yet, but something tells me we'll get more information on the case soon. That's not the only reference to John Mulaney's stand-up in episode 1. Did you notice that the detective investigating both the ponytail killer and Jesse and Jay's disappearance sounds exactly like JJ Bittenbinder? The only thing that would have made this even more perfect is if the detective gave the kids a lesson on street smarts. The final joke from John Mulaney's stand-up in episode 1 comes when Andrew and Nick are getting dressed in gym class. Andrew notices that Nick's basketball jersey is way too big on him, and that's when he says this.
My uniform seems to have gotten bigger somehow. Is that even possible?
You could wear it as a nightshirt.
That's his oversized Billabong shirt joke from Kid Gorgeous. And if you haven't seen that comedy special, go watch it. You're only cheating yourself. Lastly, we get to see a couple more of the Hormone Monster's tattoos in this season. We learned in season 1 that he has Connie's name tattooed on his forearm, but when Andrew's parents wax his mustache, the Hormone Monster shaves his entire body in solidarity, and we get to see a few more of his tats. On his forearm, there's a Captain Crunch tattoo he allegedly got when he was in the Marines, and a tat that says "I'm with stupid" on his butt cheek. Honestly, I kinda wish that the Marines gave out free Captain Crunch tattoos. I'd get one. Episode 2. Episode 2 may have given us the greatest use of the school marquee of all time. The boob marquee! Nothing like a nice pair of fresh titties to get you through an early morning Spanish pop quiz. Episode 3. Okay, fine, I might like this marquee joke a little bit better. Damn you, standardized testing! Why did we always have to take these dumb things on the weekends? Also, pro tip guys, if you're better at English than you are at math, take the plan test instead of the PSAT. It's so much easier. Also, it's pretty clear that Big Mouth does not care about spoiling upcoming episodes for you. When Nick and Gina are talking in this scene, you can see an advertisement for Guy Town in the background. That's pretty savage, Netflix. Soon after, Nick is taken to the friend zone, an incredibly desperate, depressing place where people just sit around reading cryptic text messages for years. Newsflash, they aren't cryptic. You're just a weird middle-aged chick who still has all her Beanie Babies, and he's just not that into you. When Rick tries to lure Nick to the zone, he's slammed by 2 billboard trucks back to back. If you slow it down, the first one is a Just Friends moving truck, and the second just says, "Stop quoting Jay's dad's law commercials." Fingers crossed we actually get to see one of Jay's dad's law commercials in season 3. Episode 4. Netflix broke the fourth wall a few different times in this series, but this was by far my favorite. Instead of the usual intro, this episode started off with a Coach Steve intro. At the end of Coach Steve singing Changes, he basically taunts all the intro skippers for not watching his jam. Brilliant. This type of pun is normally reserved for shows like Bob's Burgers and BoJack Horseman, but you gotta admit, this Golf Lundgren joke is totally up there with the best of them. In an homage to the actor and internet inside joke, the mini golf plays Andrew and Nick go on their double date with Lola and Devin is called Golf Lundgren, and the snacks offered at the concession stand are called If He Dies Cheese Fries. In case you don't know, Dolph Lundgren is a Swedish actor you probably saw in Rocky IV. They have another food pun with the Snacks Ex Machina vending machine, but what else would you expect from a high-class putting establishment like Golf Lundgren? Episode 5. When I was in private school, all of our junior high marquees said things like "Jesus saves" and "Say no to drugs" and "Oh my god, the kindergartners are sniffing glue again." But I wish my school was cool enough to have "We F with safe sex" on their marquee during sex ed. My sex ed teacher allegedly left the school in the middle of the semester to start his own coffee truck, but everyone knows it's actually because he threw a stapler at a kid one time. The rest of the episode is full of pop culture references, as an entire class of 7th graders try to educate their fully grown adult teacher about safe sex. Missy's skit about the many services provided by Planned Parenthood was obviously a Star Trek parody. Matthew's talk on contraception was making fun of The Bachelor, and Andrew's nightmare about blue waffle had a little homage to Jordan Peele's horror masterpiece Get Out. When Nick's dad starts describing what it was like when he first started sleeping with Nick's mom, the scene where he rescues Diane from a loose lobster in the kitchen is a direct pull from Annie Hall. But like Nick's mom always says, that guy's a monster, so don't watch his movies. Episode 6. The music references in this episode are super hilarious too, like Jesse's dad's Matchbox 420 weed box from the 90s. Or Lola screaming Aerosmith Glade plugins. Okay, so where do I get one of those, but with Tobias Forge from Ghost metal screaming instead? Jessie also has some pretty cool taste for a 7th grader, with her dope-ass Bowling Dudes poster that we all know is a ripoff of The Big Lebowski. As far as my favorite in-universe in-joke from the series, the Hormone Monstress calls weed a goat cheese omelet. When I looked up that phrase on Urban Dictionary to see if that was actually a nickname for marijuana, I was greeted with a variety of sex acts, so I don't know, don't Google it. Anyways, in the Big Mouth universe, goat cheese omelet is synonymous with the devil's lettuce, and it keeps popping up in almost every episode after this for the rest of the series. First up, of course, is the goat cheese omelet marquee gag that would have immediately been removed in literally any other school. Episode 7. In the next episode, we get another glimpse of a goat cheese omelet poster in a dude's apartment in Guytown. First of all, I'm pretty sure everyone in my freshman dorm had that poster, but with the words Mary Jane on it. And second of all, this in-universe joke ties into another one from this episode, the recurring fleshlight joke. Apparently, one of the perks of living in Guytown is an all-you-can-screw convenience store chock full of snacks and lube and fleshlights and antidepressants, and really anything else you might need to get your boner going again after an especially pathetic divorce. This guy has a fleshlight ad on the back of his magazine, and one of the dudes at this poker table bet his fleshlight on his hand. I mean, I guess he can always go get a new one if he loses, but if he doesn't lose, who's gonna stick their peen in his jizz-covered artificial puss? Episode 8. If you thought two dogs sharing a plate of spaghetti and Lady and the Tramp was adorable, boy do I have a scene that you're probably not gonna like as much. When the Hormone Monster starts carbo loading for the all-school sleepover, he and the Hormone Monstress start out with a little spaghetti slurping that turns into this. Do you know how rare it is to find a guy who will go down on you while you're eating pasta? Where's that filter on Tinder? We also have further proof that Jessie is the coolest middle schooler alive. She has on this dope vintage Pearl Jam shirt that I'm pretty sure my dad had in the 90s. Ooh, and speaking of music, did you catch that the Shame Wizard's dubstep beat was sampled with the Kroll Show's intro song? I normally can't stand dubstep, but damn, Shane Lizard can throw down a dope beat. Also, I know he's totally said it before this, but I didn't realize until this episode that Coach Steve always says Ronnie the limo driver's line from Howard Stern's show.
Whoa, stop the clock. If this is a wiffle ball bat, then what are my sneakers?
That one's kind of hard to catch if you're under the age of 30, but don't worry, you're really not missing anything with Howard Stern. Episode 9. Did anyone else almost die laughing when Coach Steve did the LeBron James chalk toss with his pubes? I love that this show pulls from everything, even memes. And other Netflix shows. When Coach Steve and the Shame Wizard are talking in the bathroom, a little nod to American Vandal can be seen on the back of the door. We also see a little tribute to The Simpsons. The number 5550113 written in the stall is actually The Simpsons' home phone number, and the 113 in the last 3 digits is a reference to Cal Arts classroom number A113, where any animator who's anybody started out. Eat My Sharts is also written on the wall, which is exactly what Bart would say if he was a character on Big Mouth instead of The Simpsons. Also, did you know that the guy who voices the Shame Wizard is the same actor who played Professor R.J. Lupin in Harry Potter? He kind of has the perfect voice for it, and as long as they never use CGI to age him backwards like they did in Wonder Woman, I'd be pretty down to see how his character shows up again in season 3. The little Easter egg in this scene comes when Tyler asks Nick if the Shame Wizard is the floaty guy with the Harry Potter accent. At last, a little over halfway through the penultimate episode, we finally get to see another glimpse of the ponytail killer, driving around at night with a cut-off ponytail hanging like dice from his rearview mirror, and a bound and gagged woman in the back of his trunk. God, I want to solve this mystery! I hope he's a character we already know, like Gina's little sister who keeps demanding sleepovers, or one of Jay's sadistic older brothers. After the Shame Wizard is banished from school, everyone in the gym is finally free from embarrassment and ready to party. Except these kids. Where the hell did they get those incredibly accurate Lord of the Flies costumes? Episode 10. The specificity of the background jokes in this episode honestly deserve an Emmy, like the posters hung in the Shame Wizard's office of an image from the dog shaming blog, and the blown up signed photo of the Shame Lady from Game of Thrones. I also really love the Hormone Monster's office, with his note reminding him to buy Aerosmith tickets for their summer tour, and the photo of him inducting Joe Walsh into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The other departments in the hormone realm reminded me a lot of the emotions from Inside Out. Only instead of anger, fear, sadness, joy, and disgust, we have the intellect sphinx, the DN ape, the hormone monstress, the anxiety armadillo, the ambition gremlin, and the depression kitty. Oh my god, what if Big Mouth is just the rated R sequel to Inside Out? There's nothing like crippling anxiety and hormones to help you transition from just plain scared and angry into a horribly depressed garbage person with a codeine neck tattoo. The last little hidden gem of the series is actually really smart and super heartfelt. In the background of Matthew's locker, amidst the Ariana Grande and Morrissey posters, there's a copy of Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest. Oscar Wilde also happened to be persecuted for being queer and different, and I like that the season ends with Matthew finally feeling like he has a place to belong. These are all the Easter eggs that I could find in Big Mouth, but there were so many, I definitely want to talk to you about the ones I might have missed in the comments. Check out our other Big Mouth videos, and don't forget to watch NerdWire on Roku and Plex.